Brian Powell of I Run Far here with Ellie Greenwood before the 2014 IAU 100k World Championships. How are you, Ellie?
I'm good, yeah.
It's a good bit of travel.
It is a fair bit of travel, yeah. I was lucky enough to break it up into 2 chunks with a couple of days in the UK. But yeah, I mean, looking at the map, you're pretty much halfway around the world, so I'm sure it'll be worth it.
Yes. You are familiar with the IAU 100k World Championships. How many have you run it?
In 2011, that was my first year. That was in Gibraltar, which was another course where it was pretty much 5k loops. So I ran it that year, and then in 2012 I ran 90 kilometres of it. So I've been. This is my third one where I showed up at the start line and hopefully the second finish line.
Gotcha. So the one time you finished, you happened to finish first.
I did, yeah.
How was that race for you?
It was, I mean, oh sorry, that was 2010. No, 2010, sorry,
okay.
I got it wrong. 2010 and 2011. So 2010, I mean, it was all totally new to me. Like, I had run 100k as a qualifier, and I had by that point also run 125k, but I was still like, it was my first probably like real like international race and first time representing GB. So there was a bit of, you know, like, I don't know whether it's like awe or whatever, right, that wow, I'm at a World Championships. It was a tough race, like the 5k loops, and they weren't necessarily, there was a bit of a hill and whatever, so I had, you know, a little wobble in the middle, but then ultimately, like, I think I took the lead probably about 6.5k to go. So again, you know, like I sometimes do, rally towards the end.
I was just thinking that.
Keep putting one foot in front of the other and have a little gas at the end. Yeah, and that was like Lizzie Hawker led for most of the race. She's not here this year, but Monica Carlin, who actually ended up coming second, she's from Italy. I understand she's here this year. So you
must, having had that scenario a couple of times where you've not been at the lead, you know, in contention, but not in the lead, and then really take that very late in major races, does that give you a lot of confidence to know that you don't have to be on your A game, or you don't have to be pushing it from the start? Or
yeah, I mean, it gives me like, I think there's a lot, I think this is a more competitive field, so I think you probably do have to be on your A game for a race like this. But no, you don't have to be in the lead from the start, for sure. And it does give me, in a sense, the confidence that I can go out at maybe a bit more of a sensible pace, and it's not like, oh, I should get ahead and somehow like gap the field or anything like that. So I'll be more than happy for the first little while to just get, you know, with the 5k loops here, to get familiar with the loop for a few loops, hopefully sit in a pack, have a bit of company, because particularly on a looped course, right, like you don't have scenery to distract you or whatever, so if you can get some miles just in the bag, and
it'll be at night,
and it'll be at night, yeah, exactly. So if you can do that sort of, you know, in the mix with other women or that kind of thing, then that would be good, and I can hope I can do that, because I do have the knowledge then that, you know, I can hopefully pick things up towards the end.
Yeah, because those who might not be familiar, the same thing happened with you at Comrades this year. You were
Yes, yeah, I mean, that was, I'll be honest, like, I was running slower than I wanted to earlier on. That wasn't, like, people said afterwards, wow, that was great tactics. I'm like, it wasn't tactics, right? It was just like, yeah, I was going much slower earlier than I wanted to, but I kept on moving and got through it. But yeah, definitely, again, that experience does help, that hopefully if I need to, like, I've had some pretty good speed sessions, so I think I've got, you know, enough speed that you need for something like this, that I can, again, use it at the end if I need to.
So 2011, you come back as defending world champion, and you're sick, right?
Yes, it was in Winschoten in the Netherlands, and yeah, I don't know, it had been a long day, a long year of racing, partly, I think, and I don't want to say I'd struggled through training, but I did get there, and I think it was maybe just like I wasn't quite in the right space for it, and then yeah, I think I started vomiting at about 55k, and I managed to sort of like limp my way through until 90k, and people were like, I've always said, how can people drop out like so close to the finish line? But I just, like, I had no energy left in my system, because it was literally like all coming up. And I'd already walked from 80k to 90k, maybe around 500 meters. So you go, oh, you can do 10k when you've already walked 10k on a pancake flat road. you know, it's not like I'll hike the trail kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's definitely a slight regret, but at the time it was like, no, I'm done. Yeah.
How's your training gone for this year?
It's gone good, actually. Yeah. Like, obviously I had Comrades earlier in the year, so I was mixing trail and road running, but obviously building up the road running towards the Comrades. And then I switched to some of the sky running. So the summer was nice because it was a complete change, right? So I got to do Speed Goat and the Rut, but I think that's left me fresh. Like, I'm not kind of like mentally burnt out because it's been very different type of training.
That'd be a huge year to start. You train quite focused for Comrades if you were to keep that road running.
Yeah, I think I would have been burnt out mentally, if not physically, whereas instead it was really straight after the Rut, which was something like early September, right? That then had a little rest up, and then it was like, okay, I'm actually keen to get back on the roads, get back to doing being more focused on speed sessions and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, there's always a few little wobbles along the way, but I've worked through those, and I'm feeling way better than I could have anticipated. Like after the Rut, I thought, is this a bit of a tough order? But I think I'm feeling pretty good. It's
kind of interesting that you bring that up, because a lot of the runners in both men's and women's races, but especially the women's race, they're crossover runners. They do both, whether it's spreading it out throughout the year or just in different sections of road and trail. So.
Yeah, and I think it's, you know, like it's a good thing to do, because I mean, you're using your body differently as well, right? Like, instead of hammering it out on the road, you're then like power hiking hills and that kind of stuff, and the more technical terrain. And yeah, it just keeps you interested rather than, okay, what's the next race? And by the time you get to sort of like September, October, you're like, I just want a break. Whereas instead I feel I've had a break from road running and flatter trail running, because I had that break in the summer, and so the start of September I got back sort of focusing on this, and I was actually keen to do it because it is so different.
And is this the end of your season, or? Yeah,
this definitely is. I mean, however much you say it's a break to do something else, I think there does come a point where you need a break. So yeah, this will be.
Can you approach the race any differently, knowing that it's?
Like, I'm not feeling burnt out. I think what I say, if I have any niggles, I'm not saying I'm prepared to like totally injure myself, but I'm prepared to get to the finish line, maybe like, oh, I've pulled a little something or aggravated something, because, well, I'm going to take time off anyway. So as long as it's nothing like where you're going to cause long-term damage, if it's like, well, I have to struggle through something and hey, I'm not going to be able to run for 3 weeks, that doesn't really matter, because I would only plan to be doing easy jogging anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. Yeah, so it's got that advantage.
And you're feeling, have you felt like you're as strong as you were before 2010?
It's very different, because in 2010 I had way less experience, as it were. Although I had run a pretty fast qualifying time to get onto the team in 2010. So no, I'm feeling good, and I actually feel I've got better endurance than I did before Comrades this year, because I've had more of the year to build up, having been away last year, whereas Comrades was like I built up and then I did the race. Whereas now I've had the summer and a good block of training. So yeah, I think I'll feel as good. Weather will run as fast. Yeah, I doubt it.
The course and the weather you really can't worry about time on this course.
No, and I think that's when like people do go, it's a championship, right? And it's about positioning. It's not really about time. It would be nice. I would like to one time try and do a fast 100k, like try and improve my like personal best. This isn't the place to do it. So yeah, it'll also be like who survives in humidity and like the turns on the course.
Well, best of luck with the race, whatever your time.
Thank you so much.